Man, even without a game yesterday, we still got a ton of news to talk about with this Red Sox team. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and thank you very much for clicking on this video. Just a heads up, we're going to be live right here on this channel tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be watching the Red Sox take on the Cleveland Guardians. Bit of an interesting stream tonight. We've never really done a weekend stream here on this channel, so I think this could be kind of fun. Again, that's going to be tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. But before we get there, we got a whole lot of news to talk about, including a call-up, an issue with one of the Red Sox top prospects, and some other things that have stood out to me over the last 24 hours. And we're going to start with said call-up because for those of you who don't know, when a game is postponed like the one was yesterday, which was really unfortunate, and it becomes a doubleheader the next day, Red Sox rosters, well, really any team in Major League Baseball's rosters, but for the sake of this video, the Red Sox roster expands to 27 players, meaning they get an extra guy to help them out during this two-game set. And for the Red Sox, that was to call up Chriswell. Now, Chriswell's start to 2025 wasn't exactly fantastic, right? It was 4 1/3 innings. He allowed 8 runs. 5 of them were earned, though. He didn't walk or strike anyone out, which I think is kind of interesting, right? At least a little bit. The fact that he went 4 1/3 innings and didn't walk or strike anybody out, actually kind of impressive. However, down in AAA, he's looked like an absolutely different animal. In fact, he's looked like an absolutely dominant pitcher because through 11 innings and 2 starts so far, he has allowed just 1 earned run. It was off of a home run. He struck out a ridiculous 16 batters and walked just 3. He's kind of tearing it up right now. I can see why the Red Sox wanted him back up here, right? You look at those statistics, he's already on the 40-man roster. Yeah, I could see it, right? This guy could be beneficial to the Boston Red Sox. Now, how he's going to impact this Red Sox team, kind of a little bit of an interesting thing here because with this 27-man role, of course, there's some weird stipulation. It's Major League Baseball. There's a ton of weird stipulations here. The Red Sox can only use Chriswell in the second game of this series, the only one that has been regularly scheduled. They cannot use him at all in the first game. Now, I do think the Red Sox will end up using Chriswell in the second game. The Red Sox bullpen could certainly use a bit of a longer breather than they normally used to, right? Especially over the last couple of days. He's certainly not going to be a starter for the Red Sox, considering the Red Sox have already laid out their starters for these two games. Both Tanner Houck is going in the first game and Walker Buehler is going in the second game, which, sidebar, this is kind of a really big start for Tanner. You take a look at his last 3 starts. It's been really solid against the Toronto Blue Jays. It has been absolutely miserable against the Tampa Bay Rays, right? One of the worst starts in Red Sox history. And then it was pretty solid against the Chicago White Sox. In my opinion here, this is a really big start because it's going to be a pretty big determining factor as to what the Red Sox do next. If Tanner Houck goes out there and has another really good start, okay, that was a one-off miserable start. Hey, maybe we skip his start next time the Rays come to town. But if it's another bad start and he's starting to do this thing where it's decent, bad, the Red Sox may have to come up with a different solution here, right? And maybe that is something like putting him on the IL and skipping a turn or two through the rotation to try and get himself right on the mound. Maybe it's moving him more into a bullpen-ish role at some point this season. I don't know, right? But this feels like a really big start for Tanner Houck. Totally besides the point. The point I'm trying to make here is that Chriswell is up with the Boston Red Sox and is somebody we'll probably see at some point in the second game. And speaking of AAA and dominating AAA, there were a couple of news items that came out of Worcester yesterday that I did want to touch on. One of them not super great, right? The first one we're going to talk about here, and that is Roman Anthony leaving yesterday's game. He fouled off a pitch off of his foot in the first inning of the game, ended up playing about 5 more innings in that game, and then in the 6th inning, he was taken out. Now, originally, everyone started to get a little bit excited, right? Oh no, your top prospect taken out of a game here. Red Sox postponement, roster expansions. Is he taking a trip down to Cleveland, over to Cleveland, up to Cleveland? I don't know, whatever it is from Worcester to Cleveland, everyone started to think, hey, maybe this is what's going on. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and Roman Anthony was taken out of the game because of some pain in his foot. The official quote from Chad Tracy after the game was, I think he's okay. Obviously, they're going to check him out. He fouled a ball off the top of his foot and kept going. In the middle of the game, it was stiffened up on him. We made the decision to precautionarily get him out of there. They have to take a look. I think he's day-to-day. He will be okay, and obviously they have to look and see. Okay, so obviously these guys still need to check Roman Anthony out, right? That was reiterated about 7 times throughout this quote. Roman Anthony noticeably limping in the Red Sox clubhouse. Not good, right? You don't want a guy who has been, slamming on the door to Major League Baseball to go through any more setbacks. He was already out for a couple of games, or at least DHing only for a couple of games because of some soreness in his shoulders. But even despite that, this dude is hitting .313 with a .551 on base percentage and a .588 slug for a .179 WRC plus down in AAA. That is 79% better than your average AAA player. He's barreled more baseballs this season than Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. This dude has just been absolutely ridiculous in AAA. Any sort of setback right now feels kind of like the end of the world, right? Because it feels like every game gets closer and closer to just simply demanding to be on this Red Sox roster. Now, we don't really know what this is going to turn into, right? The hope right now is that it's not really anything super serious. It's a bruise. It's going to take a day or two for him to get right and, put some ice on it, whatever, and then get back in there. Worst case scenario here is this is a longer term issue. X-rays, MRIs, boots, all that sort of thing. And that's exactly what you'd want to avoid with this Roman Anthony stuff, because that would be absolutely miserable. Now, in terms of the severeness of it, well, the good news is he did play 5 innings after getting hit, right? If he had broken anything, if anything was really, really wrong, he probably wouldn't have been able to play any sort of baseball after it, so that's a good sign. On top of that, despite the limping in the clubhouse, he told reporters after the game that he's all good. We'll see, right? I don't know. If I was a player in minor league baseball banging on the door of Major League Baseball, I probably wouldn't let on how badly it hurt if I was getting interviewed after a game where I got injured, right? So that could be part of it, but this all sounds really, really solid. Like it's just going to be day-to-day stuff. Something to absolutely keep our eye on for sure, because if this does turn into anything bigger, well, then that's going to be a little bit of an issue. And the other thing I wanted to talk about with AAA going on while Major League Baseball was postponed yesterday was Lucas Giolito and his rehab assignment. Because yesterday, he did what the Red Sox are considering his final rehab assignment before rejoining the Boston Red Sox. And it didn't go super well here. He ended up going 4 2/3 innings. He allowed 3 earned on 3 hits, which is kind of solid, right? Only a couple of hits here. My concern comes with the walks. This dude walked 6 guys that struck out 4 batters. I'm really hoping, like Brian Bayo when we talked about him and his struggles in AAA, that Lucas Giolito is really just treating this as an extended spring training, right? He's working on specific things, mechanics, pitch shapes, pitch grips, sequencing, all that sort of good stuff that makes you a good Major League pitcher, right? And he's really trying to hone in on those as opposed to working on legitimate results, right? Not trying to blow away 22-year-olds. He's trying to work on the shape of his slider, and if it gets hit, oh well, right? As long as the shape looks pretty good. That's my hope here, right? Because that's not a fantastic stat line, and I am a little bit worried about what Lucas Giolito is going to look like coming back. It's not just because of this start, it's because overall, throughout his starts in minor league baseball this season, he has a .519 ERA. That's in 5 starts with 10 earned runs in 17-ish innings, 13 walks, which you don't love to see, right? That's basically a walk an inning here at this point. And 17 strikeouts, which is a pretty good number. I will say, if we are looking for positives to take out of this latest Lucas Giolito start, is that he had those 6 walks pretty early on in it, really settled in after the second inning, finished his last 2.5-ish innings, basically striking everybody out, getting a ton of outs, and ended up finishing with 6 consecutive outs in his outing. So maybe he dialed it in there, right? Because my biggest concern here is that the Red Sox can't really afford a Lucas Giolito that's still trying to figure things out at the Major League level, right? You look at the rotation right now, Crochet's fine. He had that bad start. He'll be fine, right? If a bad start is 5 innings, 4 earned for Garrett Crochet, I think he'll be perfectly okay, right? But outside of that, you've got Buehler and Houck, who have been iffy this season. Houck certainly more than Buehler recently. Bayo, who's coming back from the IL. Sean Newcomb, who may be the luckiest pitcher in Major League Baseball, right? You don't really have the opportunity here to bring him in and be like, hey, man, if you're going to have a 5.5 ERA for the first 4 games, then you're going to dial it in. That's okay because one, this offense is incredibly inconsistent, but two, the rotation has been inconsistent as well. You need to find some consistency in this rotation, and I'm really hoping Lucas Giolito could be that, especially considering right now it's apparent that you are choosing Lucas Giolito as your fifth starter over a guy like Hunter Dobbins, who's been consistent in MLB, and over a guy like Richard Fitts, who, by the way, is going to be on a rehab assignment fairly soon here. He's not too far from being good to go and back in Major League Baseball. So you've got a couple of guys here who could give you consistency. You're going to go with Lucas Giolito because he's experienced, because he has that Major League deal, and because he has that ceiling of being a legitimate middle-of-the-rotation type starter for this Red Sox team. But you got to make sure that consistency is there. Again, we talked about this when we talked about Bale. There's two ways to look at the poor statistics in AAA. One, oh my God, this guy is terrible. He can't get 20-year-olds out. How are we expecting him to get the best players in the world out? Two, hey, he didn't get a spring training. He's probably sitting there saying, I have a lot of stuff I need to work on to make sure that I am dialed in for when I actually start Major League Baseball. I don't care if I give up 7 runs or 2 runs or 1 run or whatever. I care about what is going to the little things that are going to make me successful in Major League Baseball and whether or not those are working when they need to be worked on. I'm hoping, right? Hoping with all hope here that it is the second one and not the first one, but we'll see, right? I am a little bit nervous about this Lucas Giolito thing. This is a big we'll see. And honestly, all of these are kind of big we'll sees, right? Cooper Chriswell getting called up. His first go around in Major League Baseball wasn't good, but he's looked really good since then. We'll see kind of what that looks like in MLB again. Roman Anthony getting injured, right? It sounds like it's just a day-to-day thing, a little bruise on the foot, and he'll be okay. But again, we'll see. And then with Lucas Giolito, right? You talk about, okay, these are bad statistics, but he's also a Major League pitcher, essentially doing his spring training to start minor league baseball season. We'll see what that looks like in MLB. Whole lot of we'll sees, right? I hate we'll sees because sometimes they lead to inconsistencies. Hopefully they lead to a lot of good things, but the only thing we can do is wait. So let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think? What do you think about the call-up? What do you think about the injury? What do you think about Lucas Giolito? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. I will see you tonight for our first ever, I think, Saturday live stream, and of course, in the Red Seats.